Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about my top 3 favorite and most safe stablecoin farming yields. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hang around to the end of the video to see my number 1, which also happens to have the highest APR. Let's go. Stablecoin farming really is the highest reward, lowest risk farming there is in DeFi, and traditional finance can't really keep up with the amount of fees and the interest that we earn on our stablecoins. Just to be clear, guys, there's definitely no promise here that you're going to 10x your money or become a millionaire overnight or anything silly like that. But what we can go over is some genuine protocols that are generating genuine revenue, which you can plant some of your stablecoins there for the time being while we're in this downtrend and actually earn some interest on them. With that, guys, there's really only 3 ways that you can legitimately earn interest on your stablecoins that isn't kind of based on some Ponzi-nomics where you need more buyers to come in and etc, etc. The one thing you've got to take note when you're using Curve.fi for providing liquidity pools is obviously you've got to take into account the risk of depegging for these stablecoins. So say that you use a coin like USDC and then another one like USDT. We currently know that USDC is actually collateralized by 1-to-1. So for every 1 USDC there is in existence on the blockchain, there's actually $1 in a bank account in America that's been audited by proper regulations in the United States. But when it comes to USDT, they're a bit sketchier, and they've actually released some information recently saying that they only have about 80% collateralized, and then the other 20% is in bonds and stocks and maybe gold and some other sort of investments. So if everybody wanted to withdraw all of their USDT at one single time, they couldn't. It would be like a bank run in traditional finance. But with USDC, they would have that money there to be able to withdraw it. So when you're providing, and say you have 100 grand to invest and you provide 50 grand in USDC, 50 grand in USDT, you've got to obviously take into an account for impermanent loss or some sort of risk from one of those stablecoins depegging. In this case, it might be USDT. The third case would be using Premier or the leading DEX on each blockchain specific. So for the first example would be BNB, which so on the Binance Smart Chain you might use PancakeSwap, or on the Phantom chain you might use Beats.fi or SushiSwap, which is actually like a multi-chain one. So the downside to this third option, even though it probably offers the best APY, is that a lot of these APYs end up getting paid out with native tokens that are inflationary. So let's use Beats for an example. Let's say that they have a 10% APY for depositing USDC. You might deposit that USDC of 100,000 and get a 10% APY of $10,000 for the year, let's say, but 7.5% of that might be paid out in their native token called Beats, and then 2.5% might be paid out in USDC. So the risk you're taking on is with that 7.5%, the Beats token at the time could be worth $1, or in 6 months from now when you go to cash out, it could be worth 10 cents, or it could be worth $10. So you can't get a true APY when you get paid out in native tokens. It kind of fluctuates a lot. Alright, let's head on over to the computer and have a look at these protocols. Make sure you stick around to the end one to see my favorite one, which has that juicy APY that you guys are all looking for. Alright guys, here we are on the computer. So the first one that we mentioned was obviously Curve.fi. So if you head over onto Curve.fi, the link will be in the description. You can scroll up to the top here and just click on home. It does show you some pools here, which are the main pools, and they're the ones that we'll just go over briefly today. So the first one here is, you can see the 3 pool. It's consistent of DAI, USDC and USDT, which are the 3 main stablecoins. Looking at them here, you can see that the interest rate and the APY that they pay is actually only 0.08%, which is quite low, because if you look at it, it's got over $1 billion in TVL, so total value locked, and the daily volume of transactions is 30 million. So because so many people know that we're in a bear market currently, they've deposited their stablecoins into this protocol, and they've got an overflow of money in there. So the amount of transactions isn't paying out the standard APY rate. So the Curve.fi is a great one. It's been around the longest. It's probably one of the safest ones, but you've obviously got to take into an account it's going to pay that lower APY than the other 2. Alright, so if you wanted to deposit money into the 3 pool, you would just select it here, and then you would look up the top here, and you would go up to deposit, because that was in the trade section. And then if you had DAI, USDC, USDT, you don't necessarily need an equal third of all of them. You can actually just use all of DAI, all of USDC, all of USDT, etc. And it will actually swap them all for you over and deposit it into there. And then you just choose the priority fee. You can see here you can add all the coins in the balance portion, or you can use the maximum coins there. And then you would just go deposit and stake, engage, and you'll just approve the MetaMask transaction, and you'd be good to go. And this is the same interface and the same page that you would look at to be able to see your stats, your profit, and to be able to withdraw and claim your money as well, guys. The next option we have here, guys, is Beethoven. So Beethoven is definitely one of my favorites on the Fantom network. So if you just head over to Beethoven, to beats.fi, I'll do the link in the description, and you click invest and farm up the top left here, you'll see this interface here. And what you can see down here is these are the current pools that are offering with the APR. So as you can see here, this one has got a few stable coins, but you can notice that it's got Fantom, Bitcoin, and Ethereum as well. So we don't really want that to be exposed to the fluctuation of price in the normal cryptocurrencies. So if you scroll down here, you can see that it's got a Steady Beats Act 2, where the names here are kind of irrelevant. They're just like a bit of fun and a bit of quirk that people name them. So you can see here that the current pool value, it's got $2 million locked at the moment, and the current the volume for the 24 hours is 677,000. So that's a pretty good amount of volume, and it's currently paying a 3.56% APR. But the thing is with this one as well, as you can see here, that the swap fees APR is 1.19%. So that'll pay out in the stable coins like we mentioned earlier. But then with Beat, the rewards is actually 2.36% of that is paid out in Beats. So that's the native token. That's an inflationary token that you can actually use that token to vote on this protocol and vote for your pool and then get a higher APR. But we won't go into that today. We'll check out some of the other videos on that as well. All right, guys. And then the next option we have here, guys, is one god between two stables, which is currently one of my favorite ones at the moment. So if we select onto that one too, you can see that it's got the DAI stablecoin, and then it's got the USDC stablecoin. So they are both stablecoins on the Fantom network, and the volume is 12,000, and there's about $3 million locked in there. And but you can see here that the APR is 10.77%, which is quite an increase from the others. But as you look here, the swap fees is actually only 0.09%, and then the 10.69% is paid out in Deuce, which is another token that's on the Fantom network. So it's really your option, guys. If you think that these tokens that you're getting paid out are going to zero, then obviously you would go with one that pays out in that token that you're actually farming, like USDC or something. But this one is obviously an option as well. To deposit in this one, you would just have to connect your wallet to the website. We go to MetaMask, for example. My wallet's already connected because I've already been here before. You could click invest, and then it would take you to the interface of the protocol where you can actually select the two tokens you have. So if you don't have the DAI tokens, or you don't have USDC and you only have Fantom or something, you can go back, swap them, and swap to get the tokens you want, and then you just go max. And I don't have any money in here at the moment on this wallet, but for example, you would select max of that, or you could select max DAI, or you could do either, and then you could just preview it, and it would tell you exactly what you're going to get, and the price impact, and the potential weekly yield, which is obviously nice to know as well, guys. Alright, guys, here we are on the last one, the Stellar Swap. It's actually on the Moonbeam network, which is a kind of on the Polkadot ecosystem. So if you actually go to stellarswap.com, and I'll link this in the description as well here, you can see that if you go, let's go to the homepage just so we can show everyone how to get here. You would go up to the top here, and you would go earn, and then you would go to the farm section, and it would show you all of the pools that they currently have. It's got some really good APRs for some of these tokens as well, but the one that we're going to be looking at today is the base 4 pool. So it's currently consistent of Frax, USDT, USDC, and DAI. Frax is another stablecoin, which is it's a semi-collateralized stablecoin. It's got about 85%, I think, of collateralization, and then the other 15% is more of code, similar to the UST. So I know it sounds a bit scarier, but there's a lot of confidence in Frax at the moment. But what they're offering at the moment is 12.1% APR, which is really good for some stablecoins, because because the confidence I have in these 3 other stablecoins is fairly high, and if Frax was to depeg or something like that, the impermanent loss wouldn't be that great, wouldn't be that high anyway, guys, as well. So if you go over here, we can just select it there, and then again you would just select and you would go you could go add liquidity, and then you could really just manage which ones you have. You could add specific amounts of which one that you do have, or you could zap them in as well, and then let's go back to the pool, and then we would just go max, and we would add our maximum liquidity to stake it here, and it would show us our total stake. We could unstake it here, and it would also show us our profits daily as well, guys. Alright, let's go over a quick recap. So Curve.fi, they generate their fees through people swapping the 2 stablecoins, because it's just a decentralized exchange for stablecoins or a swap protocol, and you get paid out in the tokens that you deposit. So if you deposit USDC and USDT and DAI, you'll get paid out in those 3 stablecoins. So that's also a good one, but it obviously offers that lower APY. And then if we go to Beethoven, you can offer the 2 stablecoins, and you'll get paid out in a mix of them. So you get paid out in some USDC and DAI, and then some of them you'd get paid out in that Beats token, which is the native token. So you're kind of taking on the risk with the Beats token, but you're still getting that consistent income of stablecoins. And then for the Stellar swap, this one is purely paid out in the native tokens for the protocol. So you're really taking on a higher risk. I know that the APY is a lot better, of the 10% or so, and probably next bull market, or it's not financial advice, but the price will probably increase if you can hold that long. But the APY is a lot better, and what you can do is you can just constantly sell per week, etc., to be able to get that APY as well, guys. Alright, that summed up the 3 protocols that I'm using during this bear market. I know things can be a little bit worrying at the moment, so stablecoin farming really helps out. If this video was something that you guys liked, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and check out some of my other YouTube videos here. But as always, thanks for watching. Sheldon Cook Tech.